Okay. Hello. Hey Jerko. Welcome to the stream. How you doing? Just quickly sharing that we are live, and then I'm there for you. Oh, this social media thingy. Every day. Hey Elias, thank you for the sub. Hey Grail, how's it going? Hey Elias, how you doing? I'm there in a second. I'm just quickly making a social post in my Instagram story that we are live, and then I'm there. How are you all doing? How is your day going? In Germany, here is actually is free. It's work-free day, and I'm working because I love it. What are you all doing? Live stream is up on YouTube. On YouTube. Kind of like wondering if there's anyone coming. Anyone coming from TikTok? What are you peeps doing? What's going on? Okay. So I'm kind of like doing everything at the same time. Also have to make a recording with my phone at the same time. Jesus. Oh, why is this shit not holding? Okay. Okay. Hey Boris, how are you? How's it going? Hey Anosh, I want to learn how to draw like nature, my surroundings. Could you please recommend me some good courses or teachers? First of all, I'm the greatest teacher ever. Probably not, but I'm a teacher. There are a lot of good teachers. I think when you say I want to draw like nature and my surroundings, it sounds like you just want to learn to draw and to visually communicate. So first step is to draw every day. That's absolutely important. Draw every day and be very conscious about what you try to draw. And try not to rush things too fast, because rushing things is actually counterproductive. And I think at some point you have to figure out what is the origin of your desire to draw nature and their surroundings. Like, do you want to tell stories? Do you want to make it as a job? Like, kind of like figuring out what is the intention behind that impulse is really important. And then, I mean, then you can really focus on start step by step. If it's environment, if it's architecture, if it's product design, graphic design, there's so many things that you can kind of like go, you know. Hey, Francisco is my bro. How you doing? You probably also work, right? On this work-free day in Germany. Yeah. Besides that, I can, of course, recommend coming in my program because I can teach you everything. But besides that, there are a lot of good teachers out there. I can also, like, I really like learning from others. So back in the day, I took a form language class. Oh, you guys actually cannot see this. I have to move this down. I took a form language class with Norris Lynn, who was definitely some sort of relevation for me personally, but also that was also the case because I was heavily focusing on design work back then. I have to move the camera. Oh yeah, that's going to be fun. Not. So just a sec here. Can I actually move this like this here? Is this holding? It is. Lucky. Lucky me. Yeah, you have to kind of like start to observe the world. You have to kind of like learn about the world and kind of like start to understand the world. Like what, how are things moving, how are things looking? Because drawing is a language, and you kind of like try to speak that language in order to communicate. Franziskus, wie geht's dir? Was macht das Leben? Now this brush, come on bro, give me some ink. No. Try not to hit my camera. Yeah, Boris is recommending dynamic sketching, but the thing also with the recommendation, I need to say, is always really very specific, because not any recommendation works for anyone, right? So at some point you just have to make a decision and just try things on your own. Don't overthink. Like, I feel like overthinking and not doing anything is such a big topic these days. Sorry, I kind of like have to look at the reference I have from this hand here because I took a photo of my hand for this hand here that I don't fuck it up, because I'm a bad doctor. I ain't got no patience. This piece takes so long, so I took some photos of myself. But yeah, I think when it comes to recommendations, it's important that you just do kind of like you don't take them for granted. Just try things and figure out if that's maybe working for you. Sometimes you have to follow your intuition, and you kind of like have to follow your gut feeling. That's really important. Ah, stimmt, du bist ja umgezogen. Nice. Warum hast du nichts gesagt? Ich hätte dir helfen können, ey. Du bist ja ein Vogel. Sag doch was. Yes, I also teach in German. I teach in English, I teach in German, I teach in Spanish, hablo español. No, I'm just kidding. I teach mostly in English, but if you're German, I teach obviously in German. That's it's much easier for me because every time I speak English, I have to think so that I don't have to say any nonsense. So it's a bit easier. Not that I'm not thinking when I speak German. Well, okay, that's a debatable thing for me to say because sometimes I feel like I don't think and I just speak from the gut, you know. Just speak from the gut. Kind of like don't like sugarcoating stuff. And I think I'm also a very strict teacher, but it's only for I just try to be a teacher that I wanted to be taught by. So that's why I have to do the kind of like the thing, you know. Mal wieder Kaffee, gerne, Franziskus. Gerne, gerne, gerne. Gerne auch ins Fancy oder so, wenn du Bock hast. Sag einfach Bescheid und dann lass einfach connecten und dann ein bisschen chillen, ein bisschen labern oder so. Gerne, gerne. Alright, let's get this sword in. So my goal for today is definitely finishing this left side because I'm kind of like working in every day a little bit, like an hour here and there on this piece. And I really want to finish it this week. So I want to finish the left side today. So probably work and stream for 2 hours, then hit the gym and then working a bit more on it after the gym. And then I have Menti calls tonight from East Coast. Yeah, and then working more on it tomorrow, and then hopefully I get it done. What are you folks doing? What are you working on? Are you working on anything? If not, what are you doing? You were thinking about going to art department. I don't know what everyone has with art department. I mean, maybe it's really cool for students, I guess. I was there twice with my previous game company, and it was cool, but it was never an event where I was like, wow, wow, it's kind of like knocking myself out, to be honest. But I also, to be fair, I don't know if they changed anything in terms of like what they're doing. But it never felt like, well, I have to go there again. I mean, I would love to see you all, but for that I don't have to go to art department technically. Could just come by. So Boris, hey, Boris, if you go, let me know. So let's at least meet up for kebab or something. And probably Franciscus will join. Pretty sure about that. Did they change anything about the art department this year? Is there any specific, any cool stuff? I heard about Peter Han is going, but I mean, he's cool, his work is cool, but still not a big motivation for me to go there. I tried to film there once, and they were cool with me filming, but the location was so dark, the footage was horrible. It was also very loud. Kebab and splits, okay. As long as you don't make splits on the kebab, I'm cool with it. And you leave the kebab alone. Let me move the chat a bit here. You know what? Is it too far if I use this screen? Well, let me try to move my laptop over. Is that working? Ah, that's working. Sweet. I can read it here. Oh, it's kind of not cool. I think it's better if I put the chat here. But splits at dude. Okay, do it to your own kebab. Do whatever, right? Make splits on your kebab if you want. I refuse. But I would love to see you, bro. Just talking or something. And also great that you recovered, by the way. I've read it. I just didn't said anything, I think. But that doesn't mean it's good flavor. Yeah, okay. I think we could kind of like make a big debate on what these splits do, and we have to also have to figure out the constraints of how many things, how many clothes Boris has on, right? If you do this with clothes or without clothes, then I definitely don't want. No offense, Boris. Mm, 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 mm. I kind of made this forearm plate a bit too slim here. I always hate these lines, kind of like drawing him out of my wrist. So wonky. I think that's better. Yeah, of course. I know. That's the only reason. You don't go to art department for art department, right? You just go there to make splits on kebab. And to see us, of course. Oh, this ink flow. Come on, bro. Okay, let me see if I take the other one. Uh, 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 uh. Oh, yeah. Better. Better. Also a bit hyped because I got already too much coffee for the day. And then what's the time? Almost 3 p.m. here. Dude, I had like 8 espresso or something. It's pumping. But it's good because I want to hit the gym and then I'm going to be really on fire. Have you heard of Helldivers 2? That's a game, right? Um, I've heard the name, but I'm not familiar with anything coming with the game, so no clue of game mechanics or whatever. Enlighten me, my friend. Enlighten me. Tell me about it. Yeah, espresso's pre-workout. Best thing. Best thing. Last time when I was in the gym, it was pretty late. I think it was almost midnight. So I had like every time I have my mentorship students from the East Coast, the calls are usually a bit later, so in the evening, and then I kind of like finish around 10 or something. So I think that time I finished around 9, so I went to gym and usually I work out, like do weights for 1.5 hours, and then I run also for at least 30 minutes. So I went on a treadmill after lifting, and in front of me there's the bike area, and there were like two young dudes, like teenagers, and people don't have trouble in their life when you get out the Monster Energy at 11 p.m. in a gym and kind of like drink it on the bike. And I'm like, this guy will not sleep for the next for the next 6 hours or something because yeah, I thought I would never. I can probably not sleep if I drink that thing at 11 p.m. at night. Hello, miss. How are you doing? ¿Cómo estás, señora? What's the trick to make each character in the drawing have their own perspective without making the perspective of the entire drawing look wrong? Hope the question makes sense. Yeah, the question makes sense. The trick is to know perspective pretty well, I would say. Because at the end, they are just... I know that you don't speak that language. That's the only other language I speak, you know. The trick is basically that these things are all just boxes. So it's kind of like just aligning boxes. Wait, I need a paper. So basically, I need another pen here. So let's say, pretty simple. It's just understanding boxes and then kind of like just putting these boxes behind each other. And what you can do, you can kind of like rotate these boxes basically as much as you want. So every time you create the box, you can kind of like create another vanishing point, or you can like take another one. But this is kind of like what I try to do here is bringing, for example, the box closer or the character closer to me a bit stronger. Also making maybe a little bit of conversion, but kind of like controlling this, you know? And these characters, you can all put them in boxes, and my students know what I'm talking about because it's always about the mass distribution of these characters, you know? So that's basically it. I don't know if it has a specific superposition. I don't know. I don't know what the word is, or if there's actually a word, but that's basically the thing. You know, it's pretty simple. But for this, you obviously have to understand how do the same thing with a cylinder, for example, or cylinders. So plural, and then I don't know, for the hand could be the box, you know, but kind of like controlling it that way rather than, because if you think the other way, then you start to do like contour drawings or something. When did I do this? You do contour drawings, and then it's kind of like counterproductive because it will look flat eventually. You want to control the space. That's the important thing. Everything you draw is about the form and the shape. So you draw it, make sure first the form looks good, and then you make sure the shape looks good. But it's obviously not as easy as you think to control that the whole time. This is why you kind of like have to stop and kind of like look at it, make sure, okay, how does the shape look? It's okay. It's shitty. I have to adjust it, and that can happen. It's part of the process. But also kind of like having like different like characters behind each other. It requires a little bit of planning. To be honest, with this one, I freestyled a bit in the beginning. Also, can you tell me when drawing close, do you focus on accuracy, physics, or shape design? All of it at the same time. They are equally important. So when you draw close, I mean, close is a great example for this relationship of form and shape, because close can have very liquefied form, right? They do not look very sturdy, so they're a bit more flowy. But here, that's even more important that you control the flow and the gravitation, because they're kind of like enforced by gravity, but also on what object is the clothing on. And that creates like the wrinkles and everything, right? And how thick is, like, for example, the clothing you draw? Is it silk or is it any thick cotton or whatever? Yeah. And then shape design comes at the end. You kind of like, while you draw the form, you have to control the shape. And that's why, and it's a great example. Comic books is a great example, because great comic book artists, they control shapes so good. It looks graphically, almost graphically. So they come away with drawing a straight line. Look at Bridgman's way to draw the figure. How he invented figures in some ways, he simplified for himself, but that's a good example of adding straight lines and using graphical approach almost for drawing a forearm or something. Do you do it intuitively or do you first imagine the box? Now I do it a bit more intuitively because I've done imagining the box so many times. But if you're not confident enough in doing it intuitively, start with the box first. By the way, again, I didn't put any music on, so that's the reason is always licensing shittiness here with YouTube. So please put your own music on. I hope that's okay. What should I practice if I want to become a great concept artist? Everything. So first of all, visual communication. As a concept artist, you're a problem solver. So as the job as a concept artist, you're not an illustrator. Most of it, you're not. Most cases, you're not required to paint. You are hired to solve problems. So that's really important. Yes, I'm self-taught. I studied industrial design. I learned that to actually make products like in the real world, to build something that could be built and sold, and to research and to problem solve. And then I kind of like used this method to become a concept artist at the same time. And but all the concept art stuff was self-taught. Learned myself everything, tutorials, the whole thing. This is why I became a teacher. This is why I became a mentor and started my mentorship, because I wanted to be helpful for people, because I wish I would had someone back then, because I was kind of like lost and I had to figure out everything by myself. So this is why I think that stuff like this is super valuable, and it's basically speed up all the issues and problems and questions and things you might not know in the process. Is it like a cheat code? Not really, but it is absolutely helpful. But of course, it's also how well do you spend your time, right? How much work do you put in? So yeah, and again, coming back to the questions, what to do when you're a concept artist. So you have to learn to visually communicate. So first of all, you have to be a good draftsman. You have to learn to draw. Not a great, I'd say it on purpose, a good, because you have to be able to communicate the things that you want to communicate, because drawing is communicating. That's the first step. And then learning the basics. So perspective, absolutely important. Design, absolutely important. Problem solving, coming up with ideas. And then, of course, you have to learn a little bit how to make your ideas pretty, right? So painting and stuff. It's also kind of like part of communication. But everything step by step, peu à peu, so to speak. Because it is really important to learn this slow, and it's also like you cannot break it over. Yeah. I mean, I met some people who got fast. I mean, Francisco is a great example. He's here, so he busted his ass for a year and a half, and when he came into the program, he had some base knowledge, but he basically put himself into an environment where he was working all the time like crazy on his stuff, and at some point he got so good that he got hired. After what, Franciscos? Was it 1.5 years or something? Don't remember, probably. I think so. So it is possible, absolutely. And I think also with the way of things get communicated these days, absolutely. It's easier to learn, but yeah, I mean it always depends on what you do with 3D, because 3D is just a tool, and you can use a lot 3D, but you can also use only a little 3D. For me, 3D is always like playing Lego, you know. And as a kid, I loved that, so I don't have a problem. And 3D is just helping me to visualize complex scenes, complex things I want to communicate. Also, can save your ass, excuse my language, on jobs where you have to do like complex things in short amount of time. Yeah, a bit more. Yeah, and now Franciscus is working at. I always forget the name. Gameforge? No, Keen Games, right? Keen Games. Now you understand. You never had Legos. Oh, that's too bad. Oh, I hate these lines out of my wrist. Like I'm really this setup drawing on this straight easel still such a thing for me to get used to. Yeah, I think they were pretty expensive. They're probably way more expensive than back in the day. But I remember, I think my father, who was always very generous, he bought us a aqua, so underwater Lego station for Christmas, and my brother and I, we will always play Legos, and we had like 6 or 7 plastic boxes, like old plastic boxes, full with Lego, all the Lego we had. So every time we got new Lego, we just threw it inside. But my brother was kind of like a little Lego genius, so he would exactly know what part he would need to build these things. So we had so many things, but he could kind of like build it out of his memory, which was always very impressive to me. And I was very young, so for me it was just sitting there building things randomly together. That's probably also affected a little bit here, like because as some of you maybe know, I started art very late, and I never did art as a kid. But I always played Lego, and I think I probably was kind of like a creative kid, but I had other outlets for my creativity. Say it like this. So it's so funny because I drew so many samurai armors now, but I always double checking, triple checking, because I really want to make them all be consistent. And this weaving on these samurai armors, sometimes you think like you have the right angle, but then you don't. And I just want to make it look good. This is really a big patience training here for me, this piece. But it's so much fun at the other side. So I can see myself making more of these. Just kind of like have to make sure that I manage my time. Good. That's why you scribbled on the walls. Oh, bad kid. Did they let the scribbles there on the wall? Did you get punishment for it? You can't rotate your drawings. That would drive me crazy. You mean here on this thing? Yeah. I exactly know what you mean. I'll learn to draw the same way. I still do it in Photoshop, rotating the canvas. Hey, Sweet Cider, how are you doing? How are you? Welcome to the stream. How is your life going? I hope great. And if not, it will be great tomorrow. And greater the day after. See, and I just messed up this weaving again because it's actually now the other direction. Oh. But no one knows, right? Only you guys know. So let's be consistent here. do the weaving in that direction. It's interesting when you draw samurai armor and then you look at Japanese architecture, there's so many similarities in the way they designed the houses and they built their armor. It's really, really cohesive. It's but because like, and it's maybe it's not so fascinating for someone else, but for me it's really fascinating because it shows so much consistency in the things they did. Because when I think about something like Art Deco, I kind of like think about clothing back then, but you wouldn't really see the correlation in the architecture. I don't know. Maybe it's a broad statement. Maybe you see it actually. I would have to. That's very interesting. Oh, I've. Hmm. You're doing awesome. Oh, that's great. I'm happy to hear that. Good mom. Good mom. She knew you're talented. Okay. Oh, yeah, okay. Let's do the same thing again. Dun, dun, dun. So the first one is always the tricky one, and then it goes pretty easy, actually. Again, no music on. Please put your own music on. So the stream is not dead silence when I don't talk for you. You still wait for some blood? Yeah, you can wait a bit longer. But maybe I cut maybe I cut my hand. Then maybe there's some artist blood on the paper. It's going to be a true original. Dun, 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 dun. It's also kind of like meditation here. So what are you peeps doing, by the way? Anyone not drawing, not painting, doing anything else that not is correlated with art? Stone golem design, nice. Best thing, you look outside, it is sunny, no single cloud, probably 25 degrees, and I'm sitting inside drawing with you, folks. Is there anything better than this? No. Anytime I pick up the pen to sketch, you upload something. Okay. Okay. I'm sorry. Just try to keep you entertained, you know? What else can I do? It's my job. It's my job to educate and entertain. Want me to quit uploading? I'm so sorry to ruin your day. Instead of uploading, how you about to touch some grass? Boris, how much grass did you touch this week, huh? I can see your Steam activity, bro. Don't tell me about touching grass. I actually was touching grass this week on Monday. I was playing golf on Monday. Was it on Monday? What day is today? Wednesday? Or was it Sunday? I don't remember. I actually was very close to grass. So close that my allergies hit. 3 times, okay. 3 times. That sounds too perfect, Boris. What was the urgent of touching the grass? By the way, I upload, but it doesn't feel like people are really at home at the moment. Probably is also because the weather is getting better. Hey there, how are you doing? Long time no see. You went for a run? You can run? Or did you did some splits on people's kebabs and then had to run away? I saw that Ordnungsamt is hard to going around Franziskus, so they also try to end a lot of raves before they actually started. If you live in Germany, it's possible that you go outside to touch grass and suddenly it starts to rain. Yes. Or someone is yelling at you, get off my fucking grass. That's also a possibility. I mean, people just love their grass, I guess. But on the Netherlands, I would never step on someone else's grass. I just love this country so much. Yeah, and that's like this time around this year is prime time for them. Yeah, in France, policemen in France they have no chill at all. I feel like here in Germany, policemen are not that respected by the public crowd, but in I know in France, policemen have no chill. They act before they talk. Yes, it's a beautiful day inside. It's just the thing I just said before you joined in. We're sitting inside. It's a beautiful day, and we're drawing. Jesus, every time I look at the chat, I hit my camera. In France, they slapped the cop back. Okay, not. I don't know about that. I don't know if you speak from experience there. If so, please tell us about it. Um, yeah, okay. We just had the question of art department 30 minutes ago, I think. Boris is thinking about going. I love these pencil brush pens. You can make fine lines with them. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. They're so cheap. I would not refill them. I just would buy a lot of them. And actually, these guys, they hold very very long. I drew so much with it. No worries for asking. No, that wasn't what I meant. What I meant was just we just spoke about it a few minutes ago, and yeah, we just spoke about art department. And Boris is thinking about coming. I don't know if Francisco said if he would go. I probably would just go to see Boris and Francisco's, but not really going to art department. I don't know. Did any one of you went the last 3 years there? Yeah, I still owe Boris kebab. That's true. I promised him. Since studio is getting us some. You probably you work at Vuga now, right? Or do I get it wrong? What? What's that? Ilvrenet? I don't know that word. I don't know how to say that. Is that your company? I worked at Vuga for 6 months, but now I changed and now I work for Airborne Studios in Berlin. Cool. Okay. Yeah, mass confusion in my head. Cool, nice, nice. So you work for with Johannes probably together, I guess, right? If he's still there. That's nice. Yeah, I mean, Vuga was also paying for events and stuff. So did you change on purpose or any specific reason why you changed studio? Never. Is this a convention? Yeah, it's an event. It's an art event, which is in Eindhoven in Netherlands and in Berlin once a year. You had Johannes in school days. Yeah, Johannes is pretty chill. No, I never worked with Johannes. I met with him for lunch years ago. I think in 2017 or something, or 18. Back in the day when I was actually looking for work, and I met with him, and he was so kind, so nice. He took actually time to just meet with me and talk, and he gave me some great advice. And I think after that, I worked on a movie project where I got hired, and I moved to Stuttgart for a while. And then I started working at Vuga. No, I think then I worked for this Polish company on this game, and then I went to Vuga, I think. Yeah. But yeah, no, that's basically the last time I spoke with him. So I'm kind of like just watching his Instagram sometimes. But yeah, I don't even know if he actually remembers me. But I remember him as being super nice and generous and super kind guy. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if he remembers me. If he remembers me and you are talking to him, greetings. Greetings. And tell him he's awesome. Cool dude. Wow, so much text. Sorry. Hey, thank you so much. Greetings back to Borneo. I never visit there. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. I changed because position I was working at Vuga wasn't really what I thought. As a concept artist, I worked on ISO maps. Ah, okay, you did isometrics? Yeah, okay, I know what you're talking about. Did you change, did they, actually interesting question here for me. Did they moved already with the facilities? Do you know that? Because I know there was the big move planned to move the facilities, but um, I'm always curious if that already happened actually. But yeah, I totally understand what you mean. Totally understand. So yeah, then this awesome that you now have something else. So is it better at Airborne for you? Because I remember also last time they would do a lot of 3D at Airborne. More like skins for. I think last time when I talked with Johannes, he told me about like they have to do a lot of skins and stuff. So they would actually look for people who would do more 3D. Ah, you quit around that time. Okay. Okay, never mind. Never mind. Uh, fuck, I just lost. Where did I? Shit. Okay. Telling you the samurai armor. Hey, Pjok, thank you for the sub. Or Plock. 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 Plock with a C. Uh, any chance you're visiting? What visiting? Don't share your portfolio link, Cici. Don't do it. Don't do it. You don't know what he's about to do with it. You're going to print all your artwork and sell it. Sell it on conventions. No, just share it, please. Share it. Well, it's getting really warm here. This weather. Not comfortable for artists. How did I solve this actually? I didn't. Okay. Good to know. Hmm. Mm, 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 mm. Nice, yeah, do that. So what do you do at Airborne? What are you doing there? Or have you answered? Sorry, I haven't really read the. Ah, yeah, you wrote. They gave you a spot. Recently moved. Love to working on over. What? Yes, I love it there. Working on Overwatch maps now. Really fun. Some 2D artists as well. Not as many 3D artists though. Ah, okay. Cool. Oh, hi. Thank you for the sub. Sorry, I don't know how to say that name. Don't want to butcher it, but welcome. Kind of like thinking if I put another samurai in here. Mm, mm, mm. Don't much Ben. I don't. I don't. Just thinking. Just kind of like think if I put another samurai hat behind there. Can I do some planning in my head at the moment? By the way, also great mental practice. Doing a piece of art only with ink directly. It's such a good mental training because you have to really pre-envision this stuff. It's really tougher as you think. And then you have to make a choice and then you have to just go for it. So a lot of decision making. I think I would just continue at first with him. Let's see, maybe I change it later. Okay, let's continue with the detail. Okay. Well, poor tongue, I guess. But I don't want to know what type of faces I do at the moment. Kind of like don't want to think about it. I know I always kind of like bring my chin forward or something, or bite my lip or something. Hey Goku, how you doing? YMTH? Okay, this message was deleted. A few more months I will be able to buy a drawing tablet that has a screen on it. Any recommendations? Tablets with a screen on it. Hmm. Well, I don't have one with a screen on it. I tried a few in production. Never was a big fan of it. Different reasons, like getting warm when you draw on it. It felt much slower than using my Wacom Intus. But I also learned doing this stuff with the Intus with the cheap version. So I never really had to do the switch. Hmm. I think you can almost consider buying an iPad because I know so many people doing their work on an iPad and then you can do the work on the couch and you don't have to buy a big Cintiq or something. Also, I don't think working companion Wacom Companion is really like worth it, you know. And then also you have weird sitting situations and I had colleagues who had always trouble with the shoulder and the arm because you kind of like would spend in this weird arm position the whole time. Then you don't have enough space to kind of like find macro buttons, so it's not really comfortable. Um, so I think I can't really give you a good recommendation there. My recommendation is don't buy an expensive one. Buy the Wacom one, the one for $90 I think or $100. Super cheap compared to all the others. Uh, and learn with this. Don't buy a big one, just right size for me to be comfortable when drawing. Yeah. And also go into if you have the possibility, go into an electro store where they have these things. We have this here, like you can kind of like try them in the store, and I would recommend trying them before. Or if you have a friend who has one, borrow it for a day or two. Just ask to try it, and then try if it really is comfortable for you. Because I think once I borrowed a companion, so a Wacom, I don't know if it's companion, it's the one where you have a full Windows version on it, and I borrowed it, and I was so surprised how bad it actually was, because first of all it was super slow, and then it got so warm you couldn't work longer than 30 minutes on it. So yeah, and I was very close about buying that one. So testing is really the best thing. Even if you see a recommendation somewhere, I would always test stuff. So that's much better. I was saving for a Cintiq, but then I tried it, I didn't like it. Yeah, see, so you save also a lot of money. Hi, can you tell us about your experience meeting Kim Young-ji at Portugal? Sure. Well, first of all, I was kind of like amazed by, first of all, seeing him drawing live is absolutely different from seeing him on stream, because I was watching these streams he made on YouTube with the crew, and it's absolutely different. And they're like, it was so cool because people would kind of like sit around him, gather around him, and he would just be there and draw for I don't know 2-3 hours straight, then go for lunch, come back and finish that thing. So like a machine. Um, that was amazing. Uh, Pranking him was also amazing. I will never forget this moment. This will always be my moment when I asked Boyne Lee, who's the translator, to help me to prank him. So I told him I drew last night, because there was a big venue, and he would kind of like draw on it for I think a day already, and I think it was the second or third day, and then I told her to tell him that if he found the little drawing I did on his drawing, and for a moment he was like, "What drawing?" and it was like looking super serious. And at that moment I was like, "Oh fuck, did something wrong? Did I went too far?" And he actually pushed me, but um, then it de-escalated very quick. So we told him it was just a prank, just a joke. That was very funny also. Yeah, and then I mean talking to him and was pretty cool. I really liked it. Also meeting all the other peeps. We got really friends. So I met Liam Park. Liam, I think Park. I don't know if Park is actually his last name. So my friend Liam, I met him here. I really put this guy in my heart. He's really lovely dude. I really like him. Um, Also get to know Dongho. I also met Dongho again in Paris with Liam also together, and these guys, I really liked them. I really like their work attitude, and I really like how they how serious also they pursue this whole career, I want to say. I think it also has a little bit to do with the culture. And then I also went to Super Any Studio when I was in Korea. That was also amazing. Just seeing all that stuff, all the workspace and everything. Um, yeah, and I always feel super motivated and inspired by it. So I was looking a lot at Kim Young-ji's work the last years, and studied from it, emulated, and now I try to go away from it because obviously I want to kind of like find a little bit my own stuff in here. And I'm very thankful for the motivation and like everything I got from it. Yeah, and now I'm just try to carve out my own kind of like style. And I think it's just the process of doing that, by just doing a lot of these pieces and drawing. Um, and it's still motivating, right? It's still motivating, and I just have to put on a stream, an old stream, and I'm super motivated to learn. But it's the same for Mobius, for example. I mean, he passed away years ago. I never met Mobius. I wish I would had the chance to meet him, but there I was a little bit too late in this whole industry to get to know him. So I tell you, folks, if you have anyone who is such a big influence on you, such a big motivation and inspiration, approach these people. See if you can work with them, for them. Like really use this, use the opportunity to meet these people until they're there. And that sounds pretty harsh, but you can see how fast it can happen. I mean, Jungji passed away with, I don't know how old he was, 46 or something. Very sad. But you can see that like that can happen very quick. So you don't want to miss out on, I mean, just seeing them once maybe and just observing their presence, seeing how they work can change a lot, I also met Feng Zhu one time. I mean, Feng was the reason why I started with concept art, why I do YouTube, right? Feng is the most of the reason for it, because his videos were so inspiring, so moving, and still when I hear him talk, it's kind of like I automatically start working because I grind so many hours, so much painting, so much design, so much drawing while I was listening to Feng Zhu's videos. So if you have the chance to go somewhere to meet these people, go to these events, talk to them, tell them their inspiration for you. That also means a lot for them. So tell them, don't be afraid. You won't regret it. I'm pretty sure about this. What if you don't have an idol? You don't have an idol. That's fine as well. That's also great. I don't idolize these people. Don't get me wrong. I don't idolize them. I also have sometimes big trouble on just figuring out like you can be amazing artists, but if I don't kind of like vibe with the person and I kind of like don't really know the person, it's so hard to talk to them. Like, what should I talk about them? Yeah, I love your work. Okay, that's it. Like, what else do you want to talk about? So, but if you don't vibe with them, it's also fine, But what I don't idolize them. I don't put them on a podest. They inspire me, and that's great. And I try to learn because I'm still very egotistic in that moment where I just kind of like figure out, okay, what can I learn from them, right? What can I do? What is it that makes me moving, right? What is it that I want to take out of it? Which is okay, because like being an artist is super egotistic. Is a super egotistic choice, as a lot of things in life. This is how we evolve. This is how we survive, being egotistical. But I think idolizing is not the right thing, because then you give someone else too much power over you. I also don't like the word idol. You've seen Karada too, right? He's a big idol. Yeah, Tarada. The thing with Tarada is when I met him, he I knew his work, but I didn't really know how big he was at that moment, which is obviously not really changed much of how I perceive him because I perceive everyone at the same. I mean, you can be a great ass. Oh, I want to say you can be a great asshole. You can be a great artist, but if you're an asshole, you're an asshole, right? And uh, if you like, you can be the greatest musician or whatever, but if I don't like you on a personal level, then there is no need for me in furthermore approaching you or talking to you. Um, and don't get it wrong, like I didn't mean like it was with the Terada. With Terada was like there was a language barrier, so he he had a translator in Japanese, and I also filmed him, and I actually wanted to interview him, but I was so swamped at THU with all the interviews and everything I did there that it took I didn't plan really the interview, and it really annoyed me because now thinking back about what I could ask him, I could ask him about 20 or 30 questions, but I didn't had the chance to because I just didn't took enough time to write down proper interview questions. So I was just sitting there randomly because it was also kind of like random. We didn't had like a real interview, right? We just sit down. I just saw them sitting there in this open area. I just went there, talked to them, approached them, but I didn't had real questions, and I'm really annoyed about myself that I didn't had prepared good questions for him because I really love his work, and I wish you could have seen more of his stuff on YouTube or something. You know, like Kim Young Ji did with the Super Any streams. If he would do something like that, I to this day I don't know what he's actually doing. Is he only doing museum work? Is he doing only doing art? Is he selling his art? Does he work on something else? When he talks in his videos that he does his client work on an iPad, I would like to know what type of client work he would doing. So yeah, so I hope he's coming to THU, and I hope I can butcher him with questions. Yeah, sometimes we get inspired by them, but sometimes we get demotivated at our current still comparing with us. How do you manage these motivations? So first of all, I don't compare myself to anyone in any situation because it's not fair to myself, um, basically. So if I compare myself with other people in other situations, other positions, how what do I have from it, right? How should I be able to win at that moment, or what should I win for myself? It doesn't work, so I don't. And if I kind of like see where am I in my current journey, then I can only be there through the things I did in my life and the decisions and how my life come together. So what would change that by me comparing someone who maybe drew as a kid and got a different upbringing to me just starting with art when I was 24 or something. So comparison is really can be a thief of joy, can really be take all the fun away. It doesn't make any sense. Why would you compare yourself in anything? Like it's why would you compare your like this is so what is so bad about social media, for example. Like you see fitness models because they uh, they take fitness models obviously to promote fitness and market their products, and people get the idea like okay, that's the way you have supposed to look, right? But most people they don't look like fitness models, and that's okay, right? How would that be possible for the majority of people? So it's the same thing with art. Also, why would you compare the amount of skill you have compared to someone who is maybe much further in their journey or in their life? Or if that's also so wrong, if like a professional shows something they do in a day, you cannot compare yourself with what you can do in a day because they have like xyz amount of time they spend on approaching this. There's so much knowledge, so much time they spend in there. And these like 10,000 hour rule to become a professional is pretty real because most people they need 10,000 hours to become professional because you need 5 freaking years to learn all these skills. I only say that because I look like a fitness model. Well, yeah, that's true. I was kind of like waiting for you to say that, so everyone knows that now. Um, Stop it, Boris. Stop it. You're not funny. Karate Kid. By the way, you look a little bit like Daniel's son, Boris. I thought about it last time. When I thought about that, you can do the split like Daniel's son. Um, you could kind of like play Daniel's son in a new Karate Kid movie. Yeah. So Goku, don't compare yourself. And motivation always goes hand in hand with action. To be honest, motivation. I don't think about motivation that much anymore these days because, excuse my language, but motivation ain't shit because it doesn't make you really get things done. You make things get done. Motivation doesn't really help you. You can feel motivated in a moment, in a split second. Then you start to work. All your thoughts, negative thoughts, come back, and you stop working again. And what is motivation doing there for you? Nothing. What you have to do is you have to find a way to act. You have to find a way to do things, to progress. Don't overthink, just start with this stuff, just start with it. And the biggest issue is that people put too much, they put themselves too high on a podest where they say, I have to be that good when I do this for the first or second or third time, right? You start painting, maybe let's say you draw or paint for a year. So you think I should now draw and paint really good because I already draw a year. And then you draw something super shitty and you feel like, oh, I don't want to draw anymore. Haus rein, Franziskus. Danke fürs Dasein. Sag mir Bescheid wegen Kaffee trinken. Bye bye. So, and then it's kind of like, it's just like you think too much of what you should do. And that comes also by comparison, But why would you do that? Because it just will give you an uppercut and you kind of like knock yourself out and won't do any work. So, yeah, again, motivation ain't shit. Ja, schreib mir nochmal die Tage. Schöne Woche noch reingehauen. I was only asked to model a butt lifting jeans. For free. Terada had his heydays before Kim. He used to draw comics and manga, worked on concept art for characters, but last years he has been somewhat lost in Junji's presence. Oh, really? Where did you have this information from? Is that really the case? Because I know that Junji was always admiring Terada, but I did not know that he was kind of like that. Because I thought maybe I was wondering if Terada was working in manga or working as a mangaka or something, but I would never thought like he would be in that that he would kind of like suffer from that or something. Everything you're saying, I'm still learning the hard way. Yeah, sometimes we only learn the hard way, right? So I'm the same. I'm the type of person I have to do certain mistakes over and over until I really got it. I also feel like I always think a bit flip-sided, you know? Like when I look at things, I always get the feeling that other people do not look the same way at these things that I do. So, but I'm not really sure if that's my perception or if it's really the way, because every time I try to learn something or do something, then somehow the hard parts of whatever it is are easy for me and the easy parts are hard for me. So I don't know where that comes from. Gangsta. I'm so addicted to comparison, I don't even trust my taste anymore. Okay. You know, it sounds also like you overthink too much. Also, somehow everyone these days has ADHD. I don't know if that's kind of like a new trend that everyone's kind of like self-diagnosing themselves, or if that's something that comes from social media that they all watch the same TikTok video about ADHD or whatever, or they are just too much on TikTok and they spend too much time on socials, because sometimes you really have to detox. Because I know that stuff. If I start my day with my phone and then like my thoughts go left and right, I can't really focus. And obviously you g- can't get anything done if you are all day on TikTok and your thoughts go left to right. So before you self-diagnose yourself with ADHD, think about that. So, hot gangster. Hmm. Terada did also a lot of cover art for Dark Horse and Marvel. For example, there is a whole Wolverine series he did. It was just more no. Okay. Okay. Awesome. Thanks for sharing. Thank you for sharing that. But I understand it's not easy to not compare yourself, but yeah. I think it's like, I mean, really really be aware, but also be able to control your thoughts in a way where you kind of like realize, okay, maybe I have to work on my self-esteem, or maybe I have to, that I am like, my mentality is frail and this comes from XYZ reasons. Because I think everyone has kind of like these thoughts, and I mean, not everyone, but a lot of people have these thoughts, and a lot of people kind of like, they really care about how they get perceived by the outside world. The most important thing is that you find a way to live your life the way you want to live it without hindering yourself through your negative thoughts, regulations, and all that things that maybe come to your mind. You know, because otherwise you're just a slave to your own estimates, if that makes any sense. Do you read commas or mangas? Yes, I do read a few. I read the One Piece manga, the new chapter every week. I read at the moment Jujutsu Kaisen, but also on off. I read manhwa, so I read Solo Leveling, but I also didn't finish it. And I watch a lot of anime actually, because it kind of like relaxes me in the evening. So I just rewatched Jujutsu. Now I almost rewatched Haikyuu. Yeah, something like that. Do you read some? I love drawing comics and administration, but don't have interest in photorealistic art or portraits, so I'm inclined towards doing a fine art course. Can I learn other fundamentals on my own? Sure, you can learn all fundamentals on your own. There are many resources out there. You should get in the basics at least, though. So even if you don't want to reach photorealistic things, absolutely fine. But don't get the misconception that you can skip any fundamental practice by stylization, because this will be visible in your work at some point. I mean, there are also many people who do a certain style all their life and they're happy with it and it works. I'm just saying that it's possible that it can be visible in your work if you skip certain steps in your learning. Yeah. This is the return of the space cowboy. Okay, peeps. I will hit the gym now. Appreciate you all for being here with me for 2 hours. I hope that was kind of like at least a little bit entertaining for you, and you maybe could get a little bit of work done by your own. Yeah, I'm still not done with it now, but I work on the left side later today, and then tomorrow I hopefully finish this big one here, and yeah, then it's done. Is there anything I want to say? Yeah, if you're not a subscriber yet, please feel free to subscribe, because every subscriber matters. And since all the content I do on this channel is free, it's I appreciate every support by anyone. Besides that, portfolio reviews are open on my website. Career talks are open on my website. Mentorship slots are open on my website. If you want to know what I'm talking about, look on the website. There's everything about the mentorship, so the basic and the intensive one. You can also check out the student gallery, so all the students who produce the work in the mentorship will be visible there. If you have any questions, you can also reach out to me if you want to ask anything about it. If it's not clear enough, there are also YouTube videos about it where I talk about the program, what goes into it, etc., etc. Otherwise, thanks for being here, and I hope you get some sun, at least a bit, and I wish you all a wonderful rest day. And we probably also going to have a stream very soon again, because yeah, I just want to stream and want to talk to you, peeps. And in order to not miss it, you have to follow. Hey, Punkwe, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Appreciate you saying it. Yup, yup. Bye bye, Boris. Let me know if you come to Berlin. Ciao. Have a good